Good evening and welcome. This is 8:30 p.m. on NDTV. Time for breaking views. I am Ankit Tyagi. Ladies and gentlemen, two stories we'll be focusing on today. One, of course, we are raising the question. Why shouldn't those accused, those who dragged that girl, the 20-year-old Anjali, on the New Year's Eve, when the country was celebrating New Year's, for 13 kilometers? Could she have been saved if they would have stopped? Why shouldn't they now not be charged with Section 302? Why shouldn't they be charged with murder? Because while, we are talking about how the police tried to make it a hit and run, and then, of course, they spoke about under pressure of the media, change it to 304. Is it not time to make this as an example? A lot is being said about this. A lot of contradictions are coming on what Delhi police is saying. Lots of counter claims which are being made. Attempts to assassinate the character of the deceased. That's what's going to be our focus today. Why shouldn't these accused who dragged this girl for 13 kilometers be charged with murder if they knew what they were doing? But the focus today also is again on Delhi police. The spotlight on Delhi police and what they did on that evening continues. I want to start with this CCTV footage, which we have been able to access. This is the same route. And if you look at the timing of this CCTV footage, the PCR van which is going, the police van which is slowly, in fact, going in this footage, is from the same route. Look at that. The car goes. You can see the Baleno car. Under this, that poor girl is trapped. And just moments later, there is a PCR van following it. What happened? Why did the Delhi police PCR, which was on that route, and we'll give you information about how there were 9 PCR vans along this route on that very night. These suspects drove across 4 police station jurisdictions for hours, ladies and gentlemen. And the Delhi police, despite all their tall claims, this CCTV footage is incriminating. And why I'm saying the tall claims, because this was Mr. Dipendra Pathak, the special CP. On 31st afternoon, he came out and said 18,000, 16,000 Delhi policemen, there would be women policemen, additional security, there would be paramilitary, pickets, mobile vans, motorcycles, all of that, drunk driving check-in squads, all of that would be put across Delhi so that the New Year Eve could be safe. Now, if all these measures were taken, if the PCR vans were put in place, how is it that this girl was dragged for more than 13 kilometers and nobody came to her rescue? Nobody tried to stop these guys. And the police, the first instinct was to turn it into a hit and run case, 304A, homicide not amounting to murder, get off their records of this, move on to something else. Why I'm saying this is the entire route, the site of collision from the time where the body was found. It's a 13-kilometer route, ladies and gentlemen. In this 13 kilometers, there are 4 police station jurisdictions. Take a look. These are the 4 police stations under which this entire route falls. Every police station has now been attached with 5 PCR vans. So every police station, more or less, would have had altogether would have 25 PCR vans. Sources are telling us 9 PCR vans were deployed on this entire route. Not one PCR van spotted this. And this after multiple calls were made. The accident took place after that. Multiple PCR calls were made. There is a eyewitness who chased this entire car. Even then, the police could not stop it. It was only after post 4 a.m. when the body was found in the Jonti village, people called the police. They came to pick up the body. And then, of course, it was realized that this is something much bigger than the callous approach of the police was making it to be. Now, there is another second, in fact, important update in this case. Remember, yesterday there is a girl called Nidhi who claims to be Anjali's friend, the deceased friend. She came into the picture. This is the CCTV footage near her house where she is seen going into her house just about 2:30 a.m., 2:25, 2:30 a.m. that night. She said she was scared. She just didn't know what to do. She was present with her at the time of the accident. And once she fell on the other side, she saw her friend shouting, asking for help. But she chose to run away, not tell anybody, come to her house. This is the CCTV footage that tells you that she came to her house at around 2:30. Good 45 minutes after the impact, after the collision, after the accident took place. Now, she says she was injured. I mean, I'm not an expert to look at this and make a claim on whether it looks like that she's been injured or not, but she doesn't look like somebody who has had such an harrowing experience. She comes to her house, goes back, and only after 2 days, she comes out and makes a claim that, you know, Anjali was too drunk. She was too drunk and she tried to, you know, she almost went into a truck before that. The CCTV footage claims otherwise, and the family today has contested the claims of this so-called friend. Listen in.
लड़की नशे में थी बहुत ज्यादा, लड़की गाड़ी के नीचे आ गई। लड़की बहुत ज्यादा नशे में थी, लड़की गाड़ी के नीचे आ गई। ठीक है, लड़की की गलती है जो लड़की इतने नशे में ड्राइविंग कर रही है। मैंने उसको मना करा कि मत कर, मत चला, मैं होश में हूँ, मेरे को चलाने दो। उसने मेरे पे विश्वास नहीं करा, उसने अपने आप पे विश्वास करा कि नहीं बहन तू घेर देगी मुझे, मैं चलाऊंगी। मैंने कहा ठीक है।
मैम, अल्कोहल पाया जाता तो इसमें लिखा होता कि केमिकल वहाँ पर जो है अल्कोहल मिला है। अगर उसमें स्टमक में वो ये कह रहे हैं सिर्फ फूड पार्टिकल मिला है, मतलब कि अल्कोहल कहीं से कहीं तक नहीं था।
The postmortem report doesn't mention that there was any alcohol find. At least that's what we have learned from the postmortem report, which we have accessed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the kind of injuries that this girl suffered, these injuries are absolutely shocking. I mean, they're scaring, in fact, these injuries. Just take a look at what the postmortem report has suggested. Postmortem report reveals 40 external injury marks, 40 injury marks on that body. The report also says that her brain matter is missing, basis of skull is completely fractured. Just the sheer brutality of this accident is mind-numbing. The postmortem report also says that she had the injuries of the impact, the blunt force impact when the car collided with that scooter. And then, of course, the dragging marks are all over her body. Ribs have been exposed back from the chest because of the way she was dragged on the asphalt on the road that night. Grinding effects on the ribs of the victim. Imagine such a horrific death that this 20-year-old met, the end that she met. It also said most injuries unclear due to brush burn effect because you skid on asphalt, on cement, and you know how it burns, in fact, and apart from the injury. So the autopsy report also shows abrasions all over her body. And you must be wondering why, if you're sitting on your dinner table, I'm taking you through these gory details. Why I'm taking you through these gory details, ladies and gentlemen, because this tells you the kind of horror that this woman went through. And I just want to very quickly now just turn my focus to what has been said by the eyewitnesses and what the accused have said themselves. Because these list of injuries collectively caused her death. So let's very quickly take a look at what, in fact, the accused have said and what the victim, the eyewitnesses told her. These accused said that they were driving, they polished off a lot of alcohol, and they came to this place. There was this accident that took place, and then Anjali slipped under the car after the head-on collision. This is what the accused who have told the police. Now, the driver says he felt that there was something underneath, but the other said, there is no problem, keep driving. One of the men then saw Anjali's hand at a U-turn. He saw her hand sticking out of the car. And they stopped the car, the girl's body came loose, and they drove off. Now, what the police is saying, that this U-turn that they were taking, this footage that you saw of them taking U-turn after U-turns, that was because they knew that there is a body under their car, and they wanted to, in fact, this is what I'm talking about, they were taking these U-turns in one area because they wanted the body to, in fact, just break free of their car. If they knew that there was somebody under their car, if they knew that somebody's hand has been seen. You met an accident, and that is culpable homicide and not amounting to murder. But if you knew that somebody is stuck and you kept on driving, ensuring that she has zero chance of survivability, isn't this murder? Shouldn't they be charged with Section 302? That's the big question that I'm asking right now. L.N. Rao, former Deputy Commissioner of Police in Delhi, is joining me at this moment. Sir, thank you so much. I want to ask, we have spoken a lot about the police lapses, and we are hoping that Delhi police, also the officers who were negligent of these lapses, do pay. But I want to ask you a simple question, sir. Initially, the Delhi police put 304A, which was converted to 304. If these people, like the eyewitnesses said, and also like they themselves said that we knew that somebody is under the car, shouldn't they be charged with murder? Sir, could you please unmute yourself?
Yes, please. Initially, the police, I think that was wrong in registering this case under Section 304A, because apparently it was when it was seen that body is being dragged under the car, then it was very clear that it is not a simple hit and run case. Initially, the police should have registered the case of 304 IPC, which is culpable homicide not amounting to murder, but instead it was not done. However, later when the evidence, I think police collected more and more evidence, and there was a media pressure and the pressure from the other side. Then they changed this section to 304, and then they started investigating this case. If you are claiming that it should have been registered under section 302, that is also possible, but here in difference between 302 and 304 is that the motive or intention to kill. And motive, what is the motive of that? If we conclude that motive was that something was there, some enmity between them, 5 persons with Anjali, and then that murder could have been also registered. But in this case, 304 section was more appropriate to be registered.
But if they knew that, after the accident, there is somebody under their car, because the postmortem report also shows that she largely died because of the injuries that she suffered because of the dragging, the brutal way she was dragged for more than an hour. If they knew and then they deliberately kept driving, her friend said that, she was shouting for help. These guys did not listen. They did not stop. And then they moved forward, then backward, and then kept driving. Shouldn't this be considered as a deliberate attempt to kill somebody?
Yes, it is. It is no doubt in that. I'm saying that they wanted to kill her because of any reason, maybe any reason they might, because once that body was entangled in the car, the axle or under the car, then their foremost duty was, if there was no intention to kill them, their foremost duty was to stop the car, see whether somebody is injured or not. If that injured was found there, then as a moral duty of a human being or a common person is to take to the nearest hospital for treatment immediately. That would have been the case of simple accident, you can say. But they did not choose to that, and instead they dragged her into not only 1 kilometer, 13 total, 12 or 13 kilometers, whatever to be calculated, that I don't know. But that was a deliberate attempt to kill Anjali by these people. That is right. Undoubtedly, that's very clear.
Mr. Rao, thank you so much for being candid and telling us, about this case and what the police lapses are and what now can be done. Thank you so much for joining us here on NDTV. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue to track this case because right now there is, it seems, an attempt is going on to put question marks on the character of the deceased, no matter what she did before she met this horrific end. Whatever she was drinking, whosoever she was drinking, that's not what the important question is. The important question is how she died and how the way these people completely made sure that there was zero chance for Anjali to survive. And of course, the Delhi police, whose claims of security completely lie threadbare after this incident. I want to just move on to my second big focus at this moment, and this is a big story which is gaining traction, which people are talking about, which comes from Haldwani in Uttarakhand. It's very, very cold. I mean, to Delhi recorded 4.4 degrees Celsius. In hills, it is much colder. And in this cold, there are thousands and thousands of people, those who are standing, sitting, protesting to save their homes, to save their livelihoods. Why is this happening? Because in Haldwani, and we'll go across to my colleague Ravish Ranjan Shukla. But before we do that, the question that I'm asking is, why is it some sort of a political demolition drive which is going on? Because there is zero effort which has been made by the government of the day to in fact rehabilitate these people, and zero effort by the government, successive governments for the last many years to try and find a solution to this. Nobody is justifying any kind of encroachment, but the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, for years, decades, and few people, those who trace their family roots at this very spot in Haldwani for more than 100 years, 90 years, they have been living there. Government has given them electricity. Government has given them water. The government is collecting house tax from them. There are schools, colleges, even police stations and health centers which has been made by the government. If all this was an encroachment land, then who is responsible? Why should only these people pay the price? That's the question that we are asking. Let me very quickly go across to my colleague Ravish Ranjan Shukla, who is joining me at this moment from Haldwani. He's at the spot. Ravish, ठंड काफी होगी वहां पर. इतनी ठंड में भी लोग डटे हुए हैं. 9 तारीख तक का समय है इनके पास. क्या रास्ता दिखाई पड़ रहा है?
आज देखिए अंकित, अभी तक इन सारे लोगों की, जो भी लोग यहाँ पर सड़क पर हैं, उनकी उम्मीद अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट पर टिकी हुई है, क्योंकि कल सुप्रीम कोर्ट में सुनवाई है. रिहैब का क्या कोई ब्लूप्रिंट है? तो अभी तक प्रशासन के पास में कोई ऐसा ब्लूप्रिंट नहीं है कि अगर अतिक्रमण हटाने के अभियान के तहत घर तोड़े जाते हैं तो लोग आखिर कहां पर जाएंगे, क्योंकि 50,000 से ज़्यादा लोग 4,365 घरों में रहते हैं. तो ऐसे में एक बहुत बड़ा सवाल है, और इसी बात को लेकर जो है वो लोग सड़कों पर उतरे हुए हैं. अलग अलग जगहों पर प्रदर्शन हो रहा है. हमारे साथ कुछ स्थानीय लोग हैं, हम उनसे भी जानने की कोशिश करेंगे, क्योंकि अंकित, इसमें सबसे बड़ी चीज़ है, राजनीति अपनी जगह है, कोर्ट कचहरी अपनी जगह है, लेकिन एक मानवीय त्रासदी के तौर पर भी इस पूरे जो अतिक्रमण हटाने का अभियान है उसको देखा जाना चाहिए. शोएब, आप ये बताइए कि इस पूरे इलाके में हमने देखा कि मध्य वर्ग के लोग रहते हैं, निम्न मध्य वर्ग के लोग रहते हैं. अगर 1% भी ये माना जाए कि अगर ये ड्राइव शुरू होता है, मकान तोड़े जाते हैं, तो क्या आप लोगों को प्रशासन की तरफ से कोई आपको मीटिंग हुई जिसमें बताया गया कि भाई पुनर्वास कैसे किया जाएगा? कोई पुनर्वास की बात हुई अभी तक?
देखिए, सबसे पहले तो हमें पूरा भरोसा सुप्रीम कोर्ट के फैसले पर है, और कल सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला आना है. हमें पूरी उम्मीद है हमें वहाँ से न्याय मिलेगा.
अच्छा.
और 1% अगर ऐसा होता है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट से भी कोई न्याय नहीं मिलता है, तो प्रदेश सरकार तो पहले गूंगी बहरी तो थी, अंधी भी हो चुकी है कि 50,000 आदमी परेशान है, सड़कों पर उतरा हुआ है, बच्चे बूढ़े सब लोग बाहर हैं, लेकिन सरकार का कोई नुमाइंदा, सरकार का, प्रशासन का, किसी ने ऐसी कोई बात नहीं करी कि अगर मकान
उखाड़ने तक, यानी कोई प्रशासन की तरफ से कोई बातचीत नहीं हुई है स्थानीय लोगों का. इसी के वजह से थोड़ी नाराजगी भी है, और यही वजह है कि अलग अलग जगहों पर प्रदर्शन भी हो रहे हैं.
Ravish, बहुत शुक्रिया. Thank you for joining us. While, as Ravish said, politics will go on this, but this is a pure humanitarian crisis which is developing there. And don't just think that there are people of only one religion living there. There are people of, it's a mixed community. There might be Muslims in majority living there, but there are Hindus as well. So if somebody is trying to give it a communal color, it's people from every religion, but those who are going to face the brunt of this kind of an exercise. I very quickly now want to go across to Mr. Harish Rawat, senior Congress leader, former Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, who is joining me at this moment. Rawat sahab, बहुत-बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए. I want to start by asking you, sir, आप भी Chief Minister थे. ये समस्या कल नहीं पैदा हुई, ये समस्या परसों नहीं पैदा हुई. This has been going on for many, many years. Why wasn't any solution found for this?
देखिए, पहली बात तो यह है कि देश में इंक्रोचमेंट का ये पहला ऐसा मामला नहीं है. दूसरी बात, यहाँ का इंक्रोचमेंट कुछ अलग तरीके का है. यहाँ आधे से ज्यादा परिवार ऐसे हैं जो हल्द्वानी के साथ ही ग्रो किए. रेलवे के पास, रेलवे लाइन के पास बहुत सीमित एरिया है, बाकी एरिया स्टेट गवर्नमेंट का है. अनफॉर्चुनेटली स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने हाई कोर्ट के सामने फुल फैक्ट्स नहीं रखे और इसको ये माना जा रहा है जैसे रेलवे लैंड के अंदर ही ये इंक्रोचमेंट है। इसमें वो जमीनें भी सम्मिलित है जिनको इनिमी प्रॉपर्टी घोषित किया गया था, जिनके लोग पाकिस्तान चले गए थे, और वो मकानात भी सम्मिलित थे। इसमें कई हिस्टोरिकल मकानात सम्मिलित हैं जो करीब करीब 80, 90, 100 साल पुराने हैं। इसमें आपने बिल्कुल ठीक कहा, हिंदू मुस्लिम सब है। मेरी एक बहन है राजू टंडन, मैं जिसके पास कभी कभी वो बांधने के लिए जाता हूँ, रक्षाबंधन बंधवाने के लिए जाता हूँ, तो वो सबसे पुरानी बासिंदों में से एक है। इस तरीके के बहुत सारे बासिंदे हैं जो जिनके साथ ये हल्द्वानी डेवलप हुआ है। बीच में रेलवे ने ये मामला उठाया था चुनाव के मौके पर, क्योंकि कुछ ताकतें इसको कम्युनल कलर देने की कोशिश कर रही थी। तो हम उस समय के एसएसपी ने, ये कहीं मुख्यमंत्री तक भी नहीं आया, एसएसपी ने कहा कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने एक निर्णय लिया है। उस समय की स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने 2016 में, इत्तेफाक से वो कांग्रेस की गवर्नमेंट थी, उन्होंने एक विधानसभा में एक्ट पास करवाया, एक बिल पेश करके एक्ट का रूप लिया, जिसमें मलिन बस्तियों के सुधार और मलिन बस्तियों में रहने वालों लोगों के पुनर्वास का और उनके बसासतों के रेगुलराइजेशन का मामला था। उसी के अनुसार नियम इत्यादि भी बनाए गए। कुछ लोगों को देहरादून में जो है कागज भी, पेपर्स भी सौंपे गए। रिवर डेवलपमेंट के प्रोजेक्ट भी देहरादून में स्टार्ट कर दिया गया। हल्द्वानी के अंदर मंजूर किया गया ताकि कुछ एडिशनल जमीन निकल सके। उसमें जो रेलवे में के पट्टी में इत्यादि अगल बगल लोग बसे हुए थे जिनकी जान के लिए भी खतरा था, हमने कहा उनको कहीं भी रिहेबिलिटेट कर दिया जाएगा उनमें। तो ऐसा नहीं है कि गवर्नमेंट बिल्कुल सुनी रही, बल्कि इनके लिए हमने 35,000 घर बनाने का एक प्रोजेक्ट भी रुद्रपुर से लॉन्च किया था। लेकिन दिक्कत यह है कि आज गवर्नमेंट ने इसको किस दृष्टि से देखा मैं समझ नहीं पाया। क्यों राज्य सरकार ने सारी जमीन,
रावत जी,
जबकि अधिकांश जमीन राज्य सरकार की है,
ये बीजेपी कह रही है क्योंकि आपका वोट बैंक था, तो इसलिए आपने पहले भी जो कोर्ट के आदेश इसके खिलाफ आए थे उन आदेशों को भी सीरियसली नहीं लिया और ना ही सरकार ने ऐसे कोई पॉलिसी बनाई। तो इस वजह से कांग्रेस पार्टी की जिम्मेदारी है कि ऐसा चलता हुआ आ रहा है।
कभी गवर्नमेंट के सामने ये बात नहीं आई। एसएसपी ने उनसे कहा कि आजकल वीआईपी ड्यूटी लगी हुई है, रेलवे से जिनको हटाना होगा, जैसे वीआईपी का मूवमेंट कम होता है, ये समय ऐसा है जब कई तरीके के इवेंट्स हो रहे हैं, तो उसके बाद हम आपको उपलब्ध करवा देंगे। किसी ने उनसे ना नहीं कहा, रेलवे से हटाने के लिए किसी ने मना नहीं किया। स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने भी उसके सॉल्यूशन निकाल करके रिवर फ्रंट डेवलपमेंट के जरिए कुछ जमीन निकल आएगी, वहां उनको बसाने की सोची। मतलब रिहेबिलिटेशन प्लान वाज ऑलवेज देयर कांग्रेस के समय में जो है।
Why do you think that the current government,
let me complete। एक जो प्रॉब्लम आई है आज, राज्य सरकार ने हाईकोर्ट के सामने फुल फैक्ट्स नहीं रखे। इसमें से जमीनों में से कुछ जमीनें ऐसी हैं जिनके कानूनन हक लोगों को दिए जा चुके हैं, कुछ जमीनें ऐसी हैं जो राज्य सरकार की जमीनें हैं, कुछ ही जमीन ऐसी है जो रेलवे की जमीन है। इसको प्रोजेक्ट ये किया जा रहा है कि रेलवे जमीन के अंदर है। कई चैनल तो आगे बढ़ करके इस बात को
क्यों लगता है कि स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इस वक्त जो हाईकोर्ट ने जो कहा है वो कह रहे हैं कि देखिए हाईकोर्ट का डिसीजन है, हम तो कुछ कर नहीं सकते, हमसे क्यों कहा जा रहा है इस बात को, ये तो कोर्ट का आदेश है, हम उसका सिर्फ पालन कर रहे हैं। आपको इसमें कुछ राजनीति दिखाई पड़ती है? क्यों सरकार ऐसा नहीं करेगी?
देखिए, हाई कोर्ट और सुप्रीम कोर्ट उनके सामने जो फैक्ट्स रखे गए उनसे गवर्न होंगे, और मैं समझता हूं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने जब ये पूरे फैक्ट्स आएंगे, प्रॉपर्टीज का वर्गीकरण आएगा, तो वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को फटकार लगाएंगे, तुमने फुल फैक्ट्स स्टेट हाई कोर्ट के सामने क्यों नहीं रखे। लेकिन एनीवे मैं उसमें नहीं जा रहा हूं। हमेशा चीफ मिनिस्टर एक गार्जियन भी होता है, वो राज्य की परंपराओं का गार्जियन भी होता है, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का गार्जियन भी होता है, और हमेशा एक सुपर ह्यूमन के तरीके से उसको सोचना पड़ता है, बिहेव करना पड़ता है, ताकि उसके नागरिक उसके अंदर विश्वास को जमाए रखें। इसीलिए आज मैंने उपवास रखा कि चीफ मिनिस्टर जो है अपने उस मानवीय चेहरे को लेकर के आगे आए और इस समस्या के समाधान के लिए सोचे।
Do you think because the Congress party won this seat, that's why the BJP government is not doing much in this case?
I will not blame right now because I still hope that the Chief Minister will see the light, and it is rather, it will tarnish the image of our state. हम एक देवभूमि हैं, उदारता हमारी संपत्ति है, मानवीय संवेदनाओं से भरपूर ये राज्य है, और यहाँ जब 52,000-54,000 लोग, जिनमें से 10,000 के करीब लोग वृद्ध हैं, महिलाएं हैं, गर्भवती महिलाएं हैं, अपंग लोग हैं, छोटे बच्चे हैं, जब वो इस कड़कड़ाती ठंड में सड़क में आएंगे तो हमारे राज्य के जो मानवीय चेहरे, देवत्व का चेहरा है उत्तराखंड का, उसका क्या होगा? उसके लिए मैंने मुख्यमंत्री से हाथ जोड़ करके अपील की है। मैं एनडीटीवी के माध्यम से भी आपको नए वर्ष की शुभकामनाओं के साथ, जो है, आप कम से कम इस एनडीटीवी की बहस में मुझे ये लगा कि आप इसको एक मानवीय समस्या के रूप में देख रहे हैं। मैं उसके लिए आपको सैल्यूट करता हूं, और ये वास्तविक मानवीय समस्या के रूप में देखने की जरूरत है। मैं तो चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब से अपील करना चाहूंगा, कम अप टू द एक्सपेक्टेशन ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ उत्तराखंड एंड इन जनरल, एंड आप देश के लोगों की expectation.
This is very, very important what you are saying. People have to rise above politics. There are lives on line as far as this entire situation is concerned, and it's not something which happened last year or 5 years back. These people have been living here for a very, very long time. Some resolution has to be done. Thank you so much, Mr. Harish Rawat, for speaking to us here on NDTV and giving us the time, sir. Remember, the Prime Minister in Delhi had started this scheme ahead of the MCD elections, where poor were given pakka flats. These kind of initiatives are required, not uprooting families who have been living on a land for many, many years. Thank you so much for joining us here on Breaking Views. News and updates continue on NDTV.